All right, welcome back to the part whatever. We're actually going to make it ride, drive, move forward under its own power. So things that need to be focused on, we need to get the seat mounted, tank mounted. With those in place, then we can start figuring out what the handlebars are going to look like. So to get some handlebars, these are just some crap motocross bars off of some old bike. They'll find a bar set that'll fit the thing and are comfortable to use. And then, yeah, it's just get brakes and sprocket in the back. And if some of you might have noticed, we got a little bit of an issue with our sprocket location in our swing arm. So the plan there is we're going to take this off here, these mounts off, and move them up here, somewhere in here. That's where they'll pivot at. And then we'll make some sort of bracketry and weld that in there. And that'll give us our chain can go around the swing arm and down to the rear sprocket. So let's get started on building some stuff. All right, so make some braces for under that seat frame mount. So let's bend a little bit of curved pipe, give it a little character. There you go, that should be good enough. Enough of a curb. Make it look a little cosmetically cool. So just a straight brace. So. All right, got some bracing in there. That'll work. Secured a little bit. Ooh, look at the gap back there. I think what we'll do next is stupid cricket. We'll do a little hoop back here, like on a normal three-wheeler. Normally they work kind of well for, air quote, wheelie bars if she starts to go over. But I think at that point when this one goes over, you're done anyways. But we'll just mimic what they did back in the 80s for the rear handlebar. Put that back there. And then we can put the seat on, drill some holes and mount it. There you go, nice bent pipe. That's done. Seat's bolted down, or if I should say fender's bolted down with a bar in the back there. Not sure what its function is, but it's there. Seat's I reshaped the plastic on the seat a little bit so it actually comes up to the gas tank. I have to do some filler stuff there. We'll figure that out later. So let's now move on to the rear axle pieces. Let's get the sprocket, brake disc, and chain connected, and then we'll move on from there. All right, time to unite the sprocket and disc with the axle. Once again, I just used the weld-on sprocket collars that I used before for the hubs for the wheels. I just turned down the outside diameter. That's just a little bit, and it fit right inside of both pieces, clamped them, and welded them into place. So let's get those on the actual axle and get everything centered up and aligned. Take it from there. All right, so that was a bit of a challenge, but we got it in there. Bearings in place, collars in place, sprockets down, keyway's in there. I still gotta put the collar on this side yet. It's in there. Next thing we're gonna do is work on the next thing we're gonna work on is the mount for the brake caliper, which will go in here someplace somehow. So let's go dig through the parts bin and find the caliper and the mount and get that in place. I was hoping for a quick cut and weld, but this caliper and pins is just what a mess. So I have to cut this apart and I don't know, do something. Let's get it apart and have to probably fab up some sort of pin system for it. Brake caliper mount tacked into place. These pins are an absolute mess. I'll have to do some work on the lathe to kind of create custom pins to hold the caliper in place. The more I dig into this bike, the more I realize why it wasn't actually on the road. So that's good. We're going to get the next we'll work on getting the swing arm back up into the frame. If you look here, like I said before, we got to move these mounts up into here someplace. There's a sprocket. We kind of want that pivot point in line there so that the chain can actually go around the swing arm and down to the sprocket. So let's get these cut loose and get them moved up. Front mount down in place. Now we're just gonna drill a hole through this back frame mount and put a bolt through there. Okay, gas tank bolted in place, hole drilled there, well mount welded there, so that's done, ready to go. Next, let's move on to, let's do the foot pegs next. Let's get the foot pegs right here. Not sure how that's going to work with this frame. Here it goes to, I don't know. So anyways, we'll dig those out and see how they go on here. Maybe they bolt to the motor. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But once that's in place, then we can do the get the shifter and the rear brake pedal in place. Foot peg is in place. Not really crazy about that, but that'll work. One thing I end up with is the distance here to here. So I'm going to actually take the shifter off. I'm going to extend it a little bit. Put the pegs where I felt the most comfortable and based on where the seat was. So I'll extend this out, I don't know, maybe a couple inches, and then bring it down a little bit to probably get it right about here's where I'm thinking, right about there. So let's get the shifter off, get that cut and weld it back together. Okay, tacked up, let's get that out of there, get it in the vise and weld it up solid, and then grind it nice and pretty. And we'll get it on the bike, and the shifting will be done. Then we gotta move on to brakes. Well, it's on there. I like that. Feels good. Alright, that feels good, so we'll call that done. I'll walk over and we'll figure out how to get a brake pedal on this thing. We got the master cylinder right there, so I'm going to mount that first and then we'll build a pedal for it. Okay, master cylinder is secured, sort of. So we'll just we'll have a little linkage arm coming down off this brake pedal here and running back to a rod to there, and we'll put a little spacer behind here depending where I want the brake pedal, and a lock nut here, and that'll be our brakes. Well, way too much of a shit show going on back here. Everything back here I didn't like, so we're going to start over. Well, not start over, but do some refabrication and get things a little bit better off. Take this off here and cap this off so it looks a little bit better, and then get this mount. I actually had that mounted crooked, so the thing was all so we'll get that straightened out. Probably do some other design elements here. This was all bad. Oh, one other thing too is because where this location of this bar is, in retrospect to the battery, I end up with this little tiny spot for a battery, so I'm going to fix that. Pipe bent, come off here, kind of bend it back a little bit, you know, or something, and get it out of the way of the battery tray so I can fit a full-size battery in there. I do have concerns about a tiny battery trying to turn over this wonky big motor, so let's start cutting shit loose. Alright, all the ugly cut out. Now we're going to kind of fab this in here someplace like that, and that'll get us around the battery box and oil tank, which will make it easier to remove, put back together, and then we'll move on to getting the swing arm part of it redone. Ugh, what a mess. Alright, so the swing arm mount obviously got rebuilt now. It's adjustable, so I actually have a place to tension the chain, but here's the theory. Is something like this. I got a little ring here, fits over here. You weld this here and then weld this bolt to there, and now I can actually just use, you know, a nut and adjust the tension on the chain. So that'll be my solution for chain tension. Right, wrong, I don't care. I like it, so we're gonna go with it. Now there's what we'll end up with. So at least adjustable. It's heavy. Put the bracing back in there again. And next I'll have to put this piece of pipe back in there and get it around the battery box. So we'll cut and weld that in next. Alright, so the modifications of the swing arm to make it adjustable has caused everything to get shifted back a little bit, which meant I had to push the fender back a little bit, get it lined back over the tires. So you had to cut the bracket loose from here, move it back to here, re-bolt it down, got everything back in place. But now I knew I was going to have to extend the seat just a little bit anyway, so I feel I'll do that now. So I'm going to add a little bit of meat to the seat right in there, just some metal, and bend it and shape it, get it lined up so it meets the gas tank where I want it to meet. So let's do that now. But other than that, I think we're ready to go. Got a battery, got the wiring, some wiring done. So once we get this done, we should be able to start it and actually move it under its own power. So let's go, let's move on to getting this seat extended and getting it recovered. Well, this is what we got for a seat. Extended it a little bit just to get it up on the tank there so it looked a little bit better. Little hooky thingy and a couple of bolts back there. Put some nuts on the back side. This doesn't have to actually ever come off unless I need to take this fender off. So that should work. We'll go in there and we'll throw a little bit of fiberglass on this thing here to cover up that mess a little bit. And then we'll glue the original seat cover, which is right there. Cut it down a little bit and then add some foam into it. And then here's our seat cover. Old black duct tape. Let's get this done-ish, and that should be it to be able to operate it. At least try to move it under its own power. So I'm building up the supporting backing for doing this fiberglass stuff. I kind of like this foil tape you use for ductwork. Looks really good. It's flexible, bends around, and supports stuff really well. So let's flip this over, mix up some fiberglass, and get it filled in. And we'll let that set up. We'll obviously need more on there for the final revision when that time comes, but for now that'll get us to the point where we can throw the foam on it, throw some of our seat cover tape on it, and make the seat usable. Woo! custom upholstery courtesy of Distorted Steel. That'll work. Someplace to sit on. You can't hardly tell where that I actually might have ran out of the black duct tape and switched over to black hockey tape. But that'll work. Someplace to sit. There's a couple bolts back here underneath to hold the seat down, and a little hook in the front. That'll work. Good enough for now. So next, let's throw a battery in it and fire this thing up, see if it'll move. Gonna throw the voltage regulator on it, a little close to the fender, but I'll put it there just because. And I realize I guess I better weld up the neck before we actually test ride this thing. That might go bad. Well, that was a bit underwhelming. Expectations were pretty high. We're gonna be kind of a torquey little twister, but it wasn't. No, it wasn't running very well. Carburetor and possibly timing issues. So it probably could use a tune-up, but still a little underwhelming. It did ride nice. Brakes worked, shifted, clutch worked. I'm pretty happy with that. What's next for the thing? I don't know. First we'll twiddle with it and see if we can get the run a little bit better. See if it becomes more interesting. I got an oil leak on the thing. I got to figure out where that's coming from. Then it probably should get, dismantled, welded up completely, and painted or done something different with this whole seat mess, fender mess. So that'll close this one out. We'll put this power project in the back of the barn, pick it up later maybe, because if there's any good builder, fabricator, Mental case is you want to start on the next project, the next big thing. So move on to that next. Thanks for watching. See you soon.